Morning. Morning. Heh, that's interesting. The thumbs up thing. Anyway, I guess when it connected, it sent that message. Anyway, Infinity, Philip, Larry, Donald, Nikki, Arturo, Sergio, George, Rob, Wade, Eric, John, Francois, Ted, Rex, Kenneth, Carlene, and like I said, I don't know where that message came from. Rick, Muku, Jan, Dan, Laura, Brian, Donald, welcome everybody. If you want to chat with me, like everybody, say hey, good morning. All you got to do, click the button over here, be a subscriber. And what a day. I tell you, it's kind of a sign of the day when the number one top mover is a biotech pharma. I mean, look at this right here. Right here, biotech pharma, ARGX, like the biggest mover up today. I tell you what. And I think it's a sign of the day. When biotech is the biggest mover, we're in for some chop. That's maybe some drop. That's and leads me into this right here. This is a colorful chart. Lots of pinks and actually it's just orange, red, purple, or magenta, I guess, and blue. And it makes it look like pink and all that. But anyway, what this is right here, volatility. So it's VIX is on there. Move is on there, bond volatility, NASDAQ market volatility. So, and look at this. This goes back all the way to 2022. Look where we are. Look where we are right now. This downtrend is going. And this is all combined on one chart. And, bond volatility with market volatility with NASDAQ volatility and everything's at the basement. Is that complacency in the market? Probably. All right. It's been a long time since we've seen everything in the volatility space priced this low. A long time. I don't have a live chart that combines all these things at once. I could build it, I guess, but that concerns me right there. Definitely concerns me. Why does it concern me? Because the market's not pricing risk appropriately. That usually means that everybody's on one side of the boat. What happens when everybody's on one side of the boat? The boat goes the other way. I mean, that's we've seen this time and time again in the market. Goose would tell you it's one of my key indicators is when everybody's looking for the same thing in the market takes, instead of doing the left turn at Albuquerque, we do the right turn, and it's a Bugs Bunny reference. Anyway, yikes is all I gotta say. I mean, even when we were over here, we kind of squeezed it a little bit, but we're actually lower now. Right there with everything. You see, last time we squeezed it right there just a couple weeks ago, back in April, pachow. And then right here again, it's indicative. It's another one of those things. So another one of those cautionary tales in the market. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to be buying or selling anything at all. No financial instruments, no stuff from gurus. No, don't buy stuff from me unless you trust me. All right. Don't buy stocks. Don't buy options. Don't buy Forex. Don't buy futures. Don't buy cryptos. Don't buy bonds. Don't buy treasuries. Don't long them. Don't short them. Don't trade them. There is substantial risk of loss in trading all of these things. All right. If you desire personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. That's not what I do. I'm not here to advise you to do anything except protect yourself and be smart about it. All right. Welcome to the show. Tomorrow, we have GDP numbers coming out in the pre-market before I do the show. And I think we're going to get some spicy stuff. Like, we're probably going to see GDP weakening. That's what I kind of expect. And I'm on next week instead of this week. Jump back to this week. Right here. Preliminary Q1 GDP right there. We won't get the final for a couple, for like another month or something like that. But right there, Q1 GDP preliminary, we're going to get the read. I think they'll cook the numbers and make it look all rosy fine for Biden. But, we'll probably come in line. GDP. But if for some reason it starts drifting down, that's like a big red warning sign big red warning sign. So watch out right there. If it surprises to the downside, I mean, look, it's basically been right on the money just about every time. They don't miss it by much. They pretty much get the number they want. So forecast is 1.2, which is lighter. It's lighter than what we've had here. Down almost flat. Could come in flat or even negative, which would, look at these 2 quarters right here. This is kind of the start of the recession. If you take out government spending, we've basically been negative this whole time. That's what we see in the Russell chart. All right. Be careful out there. Be careful out there. And we could get could be an interesting result tomorrow. Now, the bigger number, though, coming up on Friday, core PCE right here. Is inflation going to come in hot? Probably. Everybody's still spinning like drunken sailors. We're probably going to get this coming hot. I don't have the year over year, which is a better number, but they don't show it on here for whatever reason. And I bet it comes in spicy. And they've been hitting it right on the hammer and right on the head quite a while here. Four reads in a row. Are they going to hit it right on the head again at 0.3? I don't know. If it comes in at all spicy like the CPI did, we could see a knee-jerk reaction in the market. And caution is, these could be market movers the next 2 days. In the pre-market, it could be the excuse that the market uses to do a big pullback. We see the complacency. All these pieces of the puzzle fit together. It's not rocket science or surgery or magic or anything like that. We're sitting here neutral in the markets on the fear and greed, but there's volatility, complacency in the pricing. We're sitting here at ridiculous highs, and basically the only thing driving us higher has been AI and NVIDIA. When that trade gives it up, it doesn't matter how much money's flowing into it, the market's going down. And we're just not seeing the widespread everybody doing good. We're just not. So there's Goose. Glad to see you, my man. As always. Jason, Maurizio, glad to see everybody. And let me know what you think about it in the chat. The chat's usually pretty quiet, but if you got any thoughts on how volatility pricing and PCE and GDP, if you got any thoughts, any guesses, let's throw them in the chat. See who's right as we come through tomorrow and Friday. And like I said, I think this is a warning for the day when the biggest up mover is a biotech, pharma, med tech, anything in that one category where the FDA gets involved in that I don't like to trade. Usually when that's the biggest mover of the day, that's the warning sign. Yesterday, we saw quite the pullback in S5FI. Probably still has a date with the bottom 20 right there. This is the giant market oscillator. S5FI, it's probably my favorite one. I also take a gander, long-term trends. S5TH, this is probably going back to the bottom at some point. Probably going to work. This may have been the top. We could work on a higher high, but look back in the history here. It doesn't usually go much above the 80 line before we once, twice, 3 hits right there, and then right off to the bottom. Then we had once, twice, 3 hits right here. Head off to the bottom. It could take us a while too. Could take us a good long while. So that's 200-day moving average. So S&P 500 stocks above the 200-day. That takes a little while to move. Sometimes it can go fast, like COVID, it went fast. Took it from the top to the bottom pretty quickly. But the recovery went from October of 22 down here all the way until we didn't poke out above till March of 24. So it took a year and a half to get back up to the top. You look at other times, took us from January 18 until December 18. So it took a whole year to get down. So it could take us a whole year to get down again, or longer. Then the one that's just crazy, top to bottom, ping pong ball, bouncing everywhere. It's like a Super Bowl. It's already been to the top. It's been to the bottom back here in April, been to the top already in May, and heading back to the bottom very quickly. Very, very quickly. Even though yesterday was seemingly a good day, for the market, lots of stuff kind of churning around, not really moving much. The Super Bowl heading back to the bottom pretty quickly. And it tends to, like I said, ping pong between the top and the bottom very quickly. And that's about, even faster than S5 FI because it's the 20-day moving average. Stocks can pop up above their 20-day, below their 20-day. So it's funny. All these indexes are, out there, but the ones that I would care for, they just don't make, like stocks above their 144-day EMA or, and stuff like that. So I would probably use a 34 instead of like a 20 or maybe a 55 of EMA instead of a 50. But I digress on all of that. Why? Because those are all fib numbers, and I tend to use fibs whenever possible. Now, look at this. Yes, right here. I said yesterday during, I don't know which one it was, either the morning show or the evening show, whichever one. Yesterday, I think it was the evening show. Yesterday was an inside candle, 30 minutes of awesome show. Today, look at that, blasting down toward the bottom, but it's all inside of Thursday right here. So far, everything that we've done on Friday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, Monday. If you didn't know the market was open Sunday, it was open Monday too, as far as the futures go. And here we are on Wednesday, pushing lower. If we break out of the bottom of this, it's indicative that we're going on down further. And the interesting thing, I'm going to have to jump down a couple time frames to show you this. Right here, that high, that low of that big red candle, we came up and respected the 618 right there. Ciao. It's price action, same stuff, all different time frames. So at the minimum, probably pushing right down to here. If we get below 52.50 though, that tips the odds that we're going on down in a blaze of glory, that we could be heading back to the roadmap line. So 52.50 is the support right now. Of course, we got the big red zone right there, right around 5,200, down to 5,150. So we could push down into that red zone and bounce. That's possible. That's possible. If we clear this up, just clear it up, make it all nice and clean. Right here, this low, that high, right there. That's the support zone that we might see right there. So watch out for breaking below the low, extension lower right there. The little baby move right there. If we go for the 1618, it puts us right in the zone right there, right in the zone. So easily extend that. Then you have to watch out for a 4-5. If we do that, then a retrace to a 618 again, then it's game on for a big downside potential. So, but this could have been all part of a correction here, because this was not the most bullish price action I've ever seen. And we could be hunting for, and just remove a couple of these. Nope. Remove too many of these. Could be hunting for one move down. This could have gotten a little too excited on the upside. And then we could be hunting for the next move down, which puts us right in the roadmap line. Look at that right there. This could be just a giant correction. Where this move down is echoed off of this move right here. Puts us right in the box. Isn't that interesting? How these patterns play out all the time. So be careful. That could last us a while too. That could last us into middle of the summer even. I mean, it could go faster, but it could could kind of churn in here. It could dip in, retrace, come down, retrace, come down. We could be out here in July or August before we find the bottom on the roadmap line. Be careful out there. It's kind of funny how yesterday price wasn't telling me much. Today, whole different story. Back to the cautionary tale that we might see a bigger drop forming off this high. Came up shy. I mean, if we actually use so I've been using this 90% of the way to the 1272 because if you're new here, I hold that these zones are fuzzy. Like everybody can draw the 1272 on the chart, and I hold that they're fuzzy zones. And more recently, I was asked, okay, like how fuzzy is a fuzzy zone? Plus or minus 10% seems to be pretty fair to me. So I started going with 90% of the way to the 1272, and that comes out at the 1.1448. It's not really a fib number, but it's 90% of the way to the 1272. And I've built a whole backtester strategy thing. I'm testing like 3,600 tickers on a daily chart, building that database of knowledge right now. I'm 20,000 trades into it, all the way through the letter G on the tickers, and 74% of the time, this plays out. When we get above the 618, we hit that 1272, 90% of the way to the 1272. So that actually played out right there on NASDAQ. And that could be the top. Plenty of times we see it being the top. So we're still inside that candle. We're not really pushing the bottom here on NASDAQ yet. Not nearly like we are on S&P. S&P pushing that zone, getting close to the bottom there. If we break out, watch out for the further down. If we bounce off of it, it could be a fake out. We just dip and rip. I mentioned that yesterday. Entirely possible. It's one of the things the market loves to do, fake everybody out. Russell here, though, this is the one that concerns me. Already pushing lower, and it could extend very quickly to the roadmap line here. We held it back here in April. Neither the ES or the NQ, which are S&P 500 futures and NASDAQ's futures, neither one hit the roadmap line, but Russell did. This is small caps, or small and mid caps right here, 2,000, which is actually like 1,800. And this one looks like it's going to come down here. And if we don't hold this, get below this support tail here, this is indicative that the market is going to experience bigger trouble in the coming years ahead. I'm afraid to say. Oil, though, look at this baby. Go right up into tagging, just barely coming up shy of my target zone there. Funny enough, I removed all of these drawings off of my chart last night, saved it, and they did not stick. Let's see if it'll save it today. So we tagged that downside, strong reversal. That's a bullish sign right there, bullish potential. Back above the roadmap line, back above the highs that we've had. The only problem is this is red so far. If this closes green today, it's game on for this probably. Right there, 83.80. And if we get above that 83.80 level, game on, 90 right here. And it may go to the 1.1448, which would be right around 89, but I digress. Probably going to set us up. And you may be like, well, how likely would that be? Check it out. That's why I've got the statistics. 80% likely right there. Based on the history of oil, 35 trades, 35 times it's kind of done this. And probably take us 28 bars. From the time we break above the 618 till we get up here to the target. Not too shabby, you ask me. So what does that actually look like with the other fib line? Like that right there. Yeah, 89.33. Take 28 days on average. That's 28 trading days. 5 days a week. So talking 5.5 weeks. GC. Man, look at that. Getting a retrace. It's like the wrong color candle, right? Green. You would almost expect that to gap down and run up, but Gapped up and running down. Can it find a bottom? Is that a little baby retrace in the reversal here? Jump it down in the time frames. Look what we did. Came up off the low, hit the 1 hour roadmap line, retracing right there. This low, that high, close that. This is gold right here, gold futures. If you don't know, that low right there, that high right there, cleaned it up just a hair, came down, touched the 786, went just spiked down and reversed very quickly. If we can get back above this level right up here, this level at the roadmap line right up here at 2360 to 2367 ish, break above that, it's game on. We're probably going higher. Probably going higher. How much higher? Probably up to the 2500 area at the minimum. That's a pretty good move on gold. And we're talking about roughly, we just go to 2500. Be conservative. 5%, almost 6%, 5.5% move. Not too shabby right there. Not too shabby at all. Bitcoin still sitting on that downtrend line of highs. It's on the upper side, but still sitting on it. Not my favorite kind of price action here. Have to say, this got me concerned. We need to get up out of here if we're going higher. We start pushing below these lows we had right back here last week on Thursday, Friday. Odds are we're going on down. So that's the level. You can put it on your chart right here, right around 60, 66.5. We start getting below 66.5 and it doesn't just spike and reverse right there, probably going on down. And that's on the futures for Bitcoin. I use futures to draw on because it's a centralized government controlled price. Well, CME controlled price, not really government controlled, centralized controlled price. If you don't know the way Bitcoin works, all the exchanges are islands. Like there's no, there's arbiters that trade between them, but there's no universal price. Like the price of Bitcoin is not set anywhere. All right. Everybody has their own price. And Coinbase has a different price from Binance, has a different price from crypto.com, has a different price from Kraken, has a different price from Gate.io, has a different price from, you get the point. So everybody that operates a Bitcoin exchange has a different price. Now like I said, there's arbiters. There's people that buy from one exchange, sell to another exchange to balance that price, but there's no centralized market, no centralized clearinghouse that sets the price of Bitcoin. But CME does that for me. Like that's the official price for the futures. It just allows me to chart stuff a little more accurately. Because when I bounce between Coinbase and Binance and all those other charts, everything's slightly different. There's slightly higher highs, slightly higher lows. I mean, all these different, the numbers are all slightly different. So I just kind of unify it right here on the futures chart. Ethereum, just explaining that for people that haven't heard that before. Ether got the spot ETF approvals, but kind of rocky show here. Do we break higher or do we break back lower and go hit the roadmap line? We came up a little shy on the futures. We actually tapped it on the spot market, depending on the spot market you look at. But again, same thing for price of Ether. I look at the CME futures because, well, it's a centralized price. DXY. Curious here. It looked like we were going to get that close below, we were going to push down below the roadmap line. Looks like it's a double tap with a higher low. If we launch above this 105.10 area, indicating we're going on up. The on up, 106, probably going to clear 105.50, then 106.80, target there, and then possibly we make the run for that 108.50 where I've been saying we're likely to go for, like all of this year pretty much. Ever since we broke above over here, I've been thinking 108.50. And it was possible all the way back here. We just came up shy. So 108.50. And what's moving today? Hey, Gary Svenborn. Welcome, everybody. ARGX popping. Still below the daily roadmap line, though. Watch out. Like I said, like I let off with, it's kind of indicative of the type of day we're going to get when the biggest pre-market popper was ARGX, a biotech pharma. Although Dick's now outperforming after the open here. Dun, 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 heading toward the target right up here. It's my long-term target on Dick's Sporting Goods. Didn't do a market roadmap bounce on the daily. Next resistance could be 231, 236, 251. That's a bigger picture target right up there. Beautiful. Go Dick's, go. Wire. Finding targets up here. Watch for the retrace on wire. That's due a retrace. Hadn't been down here since October. It's been going absolutely nutso, straight up. Watch for a steep retrace. Something like that right there. You see how it went absolute nutso, straight up, right back down to the roadmap line, then chopped for months before it could get a going again. Absolute nutso rise and right back down. Absolute nutso rise and highly likely to come right back down. ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. Look at that one. Absolute craziness. Absolute craziness. There is some crazy stuff going on in the stock market. We're going to pay the piper for this. Eventually, things are going to come to a head. And a lot of these ones that have just done straight up crazy moves like this. 180 next target up, 190 above that, 223 above that, 242 above that, 325 would be absolutely, absolutely crazy without a major retrace. GEV, there's not much on the gainers list so far today. GE Vernova was a popper, now it's a dropper. Not enough candles to do anything. It's one of the spinoffs for GE. MRO, Marathon getting a pop, but looks like it's not going to be able to hold that pop right there. If we get the daily close above the 618, odds are we're going to 30. If we drop back below, though, game off. Watch out for the move down. And IMVT, Immunovant, that's biotech for you. Below the roadmap line, watch out. Cold, ultra short natural gas, getting a little pop today. I was looking at the natural gas chart last night. It looked like it maybe played out. Came up right to the downtrend of highs, right there. Turning down today. Roadmap line support. This right here, below that. Actually, it's now up here. Pull this up here. So just below the roadmap line. And if we get below all that, odds are we're going on down probably $1.15 maybe. So watch out. That does not have to pop anymore. Cold could be that. I don't like using leveraged stuff, leveraged derivatives to indicate things, but that is a really clean chart that did exactly a bounce at the exact place I would expect it to. Ultra short gas may that may go from 48 up to some ridiculous price. Maybe like, well, JT, what do you mean ridiculous price? Talking from here to here, we could be looking at 96 from 48. That's a double on just shares. Absolute craziness. Absolute crazy potential. Man. It'll do it. Chewy. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, buyouts. So it's not tradable then. It's just a dead stock then. If MRO is getting bought out. Chewy. Lower high. It didn't make any of my news this morning, funny enough. Lower high, watch for that. If we can maintain the move above the roadmap line, indicative of a potential reversal, touch the target on the downside. That could be done. Could be done. Doesn't have to be done. Could be done. Nothing high probability. Gotta wait. I mean, I guess if you're a buyer, I'm gonna buy. Could, but we've got this major resistance right up there that we're gonna have to get through, and that goes from 30 to 50 right there. Kimberly's here, my lovely wife, and my favorite subscriber in the whole world. ASO, that high, that low, hanging out under the roadmap line is not, compared to Dick's, ASO not looking so hot. I have to say, that does not look so hot on that chart. Now, could it have finished the correction? Maybe. I mean, that's possible. It's a 618 bounce. It's a measured bounce. Possible. The chart does not give me that warm and fuzzy tummy feeling right there, but if it's going to be a measured bounce, get back above the roadmap line, could head up to this 84 area on the next extension. Right there. Maybe even 93. Maybe even up there. 105. Possible. So, decliners, MSTR, getting smacked on Bitcoin's dropping a little bit, but it's just turning right here at the 618 level. This is another piece of the puzzle for Bitcoin. It's MSTR looking like it could roll. It's sitting there at resistance, not pushing through. It's indicator light flashing, warning. We did not touch the roadmap line right there in May. 28 days ago, 4 weeks ago. Didn't touch. Came up here. Sit at the upside resistance. If we do the move, this concerns me. Like, why am I being kind of weird? Because look, that move down, right? If we echo that right off of here, look where it puts us. 742. That's more than half off right there. 54% down. If you're messing with this, can you take a 54% down? Are you going to be able to absorb that? For gosh sakes, be careful. Be careful. I'm not in anything MSTR right now. Nothing at all. ASML, same freaking pattern right there. Look, that drop came up shy of the roadmap line. Rally up. Resistance at that 618 level. Same pattern. Same potential downside. Same exact potential downside. Look. That move could put us down here. 788. We're talking about from where we are right now, about a 17% drop. So not like a 54 because it's not as crazy as MSTR, but please be careful. Please be careful. AVGO. That one looks like it wants to reach that 1472. It's so close. So close. Having trouble breaking higher. It's tried once, twice, 3 times now in the last 2 weeks, whatever. 1472 will be the target. Maybe like JT, what are the statistics? 77% right there, rounded up. 76.92% of the time. But we didn't touch the roadmap line, so not in this time frame. We did on this time frame. It kicked off the buy, and we haven't hit the target yet. This one's a little lower, only 68.97% of the time. Be careful. Be careful. Hide that back back to the full chart. And SMCI. Same situation. Resistance zone can lead to the bigger down. 421 would be the minimum target right there if it echoes. That first move down, retrace, echo off of that. 421 right now, and more likely down to this 270 area where we consolidated all last summer, into the fall, into the new year even. It really likes that 270 level. Be careful. we're probably coming back there. I said a long time ago, if we pop up above 1,000, buy puts out as long as you can. Buy some $800 puts as far out as you can. You'll probably get paid. Eventually, they're probably going to pay. BHVN. Right back down. It's kind of funny. It took a longer trip up and then came right back down to where my target zone was. Kind of funny. Sometimes I get lucky. That's a pharmaceutical, by the way, so be careful. It's like playing with fire right there. FNGU, right up to the target. Next expectation. Now we could just bounce like this and go higher if that's what the market's going to do. Excuse my stomach if anybody heard that weird sound. And if we get below here, probably coming back to the roadmap line. If we don't hold the roadmap line, it could be something more severe. Be careful out there. This one does not have options. It is a 3x leverage. Leverage is highly dangerous. Be careful out there. Be careful. We sat in this pattern forever, and then we popped the targets, and then we did a fast retrace bounce right up to the target again. I mean, that was just wicked fast. Beautiful. So there's those highs right there. That's like support. We break below the support, even though there's a 3x leverage. Leverage, be freaking careful, please. FNGU. FSLR. Look at that baby going for the target. Right up there at 300. That's a crazy move too. Coin. Come on, just like same chart as MSTR, same chart as ASML, SMCI. We have retraced, came up short of the roadmap line, pulled back up to resistance at the 618, potentially turning back down. That can result in another move right here, that high, this low, echo that off of there, right down there. And what's funny is that where I drew that from was these retraces we've done over here. It's just an echo of prior pullbacks right there. Scaled up for log scale. Be careful. mRNA. Yeah, I thought that was going to turn down again. I think I said that last night. I expected it to. Oh, that was cool. Super cool. Golly. I just fudged up the chart. Oh, man. I hate it when I do that. I know what I did. That goes down. And let's just close that. There we go. There we go. Probably going down. If we break below this zone right here, 57, possibly even back down to the bottom of the box at 40. Ozark, OZK Bank, just choppy corrective, not indicative of any future moves. If it's an echo, probably going to get a little lower, 39, maybe 36. Kava has a date for retracing back. Not a lot of price history, so extremely difficult to do anything with this on a long-term basis. SOXX, just shy of the target. Did not touch the roadmap line right there, so it's not technically a daily roadmap bounce, but the target would be right up there at 246. TSM. I don't take requests on morning shows, Nikki. Go trading. That's what Tuesday evening is for. And I'm just looking at what's moving today, and that's already pulled the list. TSM, and we're already on the decliners here, which is much longer than the list of poppers. And PFE is a biotech pharma. So TSM probably coming back to the roadmap line, but we do have the target up there at 170. ENPH still struggling, lower highs. If we can break above that, that would be the indicator we're going to rally on up here to 180, 175, 180 area probably. CEG, that's going to retrace eventually. Hasn't been down here since May of last year. What goes up comes back down. And speaking of what goes up comes back down, AMD was ripping yesterday and getting crushed today. Right back down where we were just 3 days ago. Can we hold the higher low, or do we come back to the roadmap line? If we don't hold the roadmap line, down there is support 94 to 110 area. AWIN. That one looks like an absolute dumpster fire. Absolute dumpster fire. Has a reverse split, 1 for 100. Don't trade stuff like this. It's probably going to 0. LABU. And be careful. That's if we get below these lows from back here in April. Probably going on down in a blaze of glory. SMH. Sierra Mike Hotel. Hit the target. Next expectation. Back down here. 200. PDD. Hit the target. Next expectation. If we can hold the breakout, push on up to 169. If we don't, watch out for the deeper retrace back into the 125 area. AMAT. Hit the target. I would expect it to retrace. Hadn't been down here since October. Nail. That's leverage on home builders. Not looking super bullish at the moment. That turned down at the 618, just like I was talking about for all those other ones. SMCI, MSTR. So the echo right here. Potential in the market down to 77.25 on nail. Watch out for that one. Not been holding the roadmap line very well. Turn down. Indicative we're going lower. CVNA. I would expect that to drew that arrow like last week. Watching for that. FTAI. That one just going crazy up. Up. Holy moly. Hadn't been down to the roadmap line since December 22. Yeah, that's due a retrace. Wow. Holy wow. Probably not as much retrace as I would expect, actually. That's actually a really bullish move. I would expect... Don't usually keep these fib lines on, but... Probably going to... Yeah, it could come back to the roadmap line, but probably going to find support right there. Whenever it retraces. Be a 236, possibly a 382 retrace. I would expect it to hold in that zone and turn higher again, and... That last move up would be similar to this move right here, projected off of here. Yeah, could be good for 100. So we could see a retrace back into the 65, 70, 60 to 70 zone, and a pop on to 100. So if you want to set alerts, I'd set alerts here, and watch that potential bounce. If we get that possibly going up to 87, 94, 100. 100 could even extend. I mean, we could do some crazy extensions off of that. So, and then once we do that final move, that's when it's game on for a bigger retrace. Much bigger retrace. That low, that high at 100. We could come back down into this 50 zone right in here. After that. So retrace, pop, and bigger retrace. FTAI. ZS. Z-scaler. Oh, look at that. Scraping the top of the box yesterday. I knew it was coming down here. I knew it was going to do that. I knew it. Did not trade it, but I knew it. Watch, that could be it right there for Z-scaler. Watch for a break back above that high right there and the roadmap line just above it right there. If we can get above that 190 area, could be game on for going way up high. That low right down there. So then next resistance up would be getting a close above that 220 area, 222. And that set us up for 286 on the upside. So there's your aggressive entry potentials. Move up above that, and then conservatively above that. It's going to take us higher. SPXL getting whacked as the market pulls back. Connell, coin, 2x leverage on coin. If coin gets smacked, 2x leverage gets smacked twice as hard. This did a bounce though, whereas coin came up shy, but it didn't trigger the conservative entry yet. If it does, 100 on the upside. Tesla, come on, just drop to the 160 area. Come on, do it. I really want to see this drop to right there. If we do that, I'll probably get back on my leverage longs. If we can drop to there and hold, turn back higher. Be a three-wave retrace off of that high. Possibly as deep as 155, 160. I think so many people are watching this, we may come up shy and only get 160. Let's do it. IWM, indicating we're probably going down, but we could retrace that gap. Could retrace it. FAS, probably coming back to the roadmap line. Sorry, Goose. Probably coming back to the roadmap line. SOXL, target up there at 63. That one did a roadmap bounce, did the entry, conservative entry, even though it's 3x leverage. Be careful. MU, target right up here at 140, 150. QCOM, target still, gosh, man, hitting there. Probably going to retrace back to 195 before we go on up to 250, but 250 is the next target up on QCOM. Probably do that. ARM, resistance right there. I mean, first move down, resistance, same chart as SMCI and all the other ones I showed. MSTR, resistance right there. Potential to come back down here, fill the gap, and get the continuation lower. Be careful. That high. I mean, it could go substantially lower, all the way back down to 60. Snow. We're below the trend line. Come on, just go. I'm looking for that drop below 110. We get that, I'll probably be a buyer down there. All we need is a lower low to clean up all this corrective price action we've had since all the way back here in May of 22. We get that lower low, possibly down into 100, even 90. Just need that lower low hit down in that zone. Reversal, nice strong reversal off that. We can go make new highs. And I'm talking like zoom out. Look at this. We could be talking 500, 600, maybe even higher. Oh yeah. Maybe a 5xer just on shares potentially. Maybe even a 6xer. Beautiful. PALL. That chart looks gnarly. Consolidating at the bottom. Not awesome. TECL. 3x leverage bulls on technology. Coming up just shy of the target. 91. GE. Watch for the retrace. That's just been straight up. Golly, man. Up and up and up and up and up. Right to the resistance. I do have a target up there at 186 if we're going to do it. Not sure we're going to do it. That's GE Aerospace. It's kind of funny. General Electric Aerospace. And Flutter Entertainment looks like it's coming down to 168. Airbnb hanging out right here. Support is right down here at 136. We may tag that and bounce. If we do tag that, actually, I'm going to set an alert at this point. If we tag that, make a reversal. That could be really strong. Really, really strong. At 175 would be the upside target. NVO looks like it wants to come back to the roadmap line. NTES potentially going to go down here. ALAB, not enough price action to do anything with. Hey, Michael, good morning. And buys for the day. Cautionary tale. Is it a dip and rip type of day? Just playing inside that big candle from Thursday last week. Right there. That's not an indicator for anything except indecision. Indecision. Playing around in here. GDP, PCE coming up tomorrow and Friday. Maybe the things that move the market, or the excuse for moving the market. Breaking out or break it down? That's the question. At this point, we're just playing inside this big zone here. We hit the target on S&P 500. We came up shy on ES and on NQ. Well, we did kind of, we scraped the 90% target on NQ. Came up shy just all the way around on ES. Just did not push higher at all. Little spike above and rolling over. I am cautious. We get below 52.50 on futures. Watch out for this move right here. That's the level to watch. 52.50. So, all right. If anything I said was helpful, beneficial, you liked it, give me a thumbs up. And remember, it's not being wrong that costs you all the money in the market. You know, being wrong, you be wrong. Just don't stay wrong. Like, if you stay wrong, you double down. You think about it. I'm going to cost average down. Like, that's staying wrong. All right, you're wrong. You're staying wrong. Cost averaging down. It's probably going to cost you more money. All right, it's probably going to. That's where you lose the big money. Staying wrong in the market. Don't stay wrong. When you're proven wrong, GTFO. Have a great day, everybody. I'll be in Discord hanging out. Links in the description if you want to buy the market roadmap and come get in Discord. $5. I'll see you later. And as always, you can request stocks in Discord, and I'll do more than I do on the show here. So you just got to tell me more information about what you're doing before you don't just say, what are your thoughts on XYZ? I hate that question. My thoughts are, I've never looked at that chart. Or I don't watch that chart. Ask me like, hey, is there any bullish setup on XYZ? Or hey, I'm looking at a market roadmap bounce on, XXX. So let me know. Otherwise, have a great day.